And that's one of the more interesting strats that people will do to try to catch people off guard. Because typically you're going to rush B. That's right, one of the most easy choke points to do it at. And typically you just have to figure out how you think they're going to play it. Because it's either 4-1 or 3-2, and it's so typically 4-1 that if you think A is going to be really unsecure, you should always go there.
So we do have 3 players towards the B site at the beginning of the round for Heroic. The smoke grenade now coming on forward. Naf, his positioning known, goes for the wide peak, but takes one to the noggin. Another frag found as Madi takes a second, a third, and Valde looking for number 4's denied. Stanislaw to bring it back, but he's all on his lonesome between a rock and a hard place as he pushes forward. It's Heroic with the pistol.
Yeah, that was absolutely no trouble for them to deal with that. Naf had just one smoke for the door, and then a couple of people to fly out and try to frag out as well. Now the long distances for long B are not very favorable towards USPs in the site, but that's why they sent the majority of their players down drop, and it's unclear exactly how that situation unfolded, but it does come down to simply just being able to trade, and they couldn't do it. Now we have a smoke, but we don't have an assisting flash, and I think the value of your smoke goes up like quite a bit if you do have a flash to accompany it, but it's also a tell, so maybe that's something they didn't want to have to deal with.
Naf trying to apply some pressure as Madi reels backwards will allow for Tarek to grab an opening frag. Now immediately the Terra is pushing forward. It's rushed to try and create some space, but he is denied to the crossfire of the CT side. Tarek going to bring it in with another headshot of his own. 4v3, they have the man advantage, and now they're disengaging.
Yeah, and they're making a lot of noise, so I don't think they expected Heroic to aggress this far up. Valde is going to communicate this with his teammates almost certainly, and they're going to expend an extra player over to the other side of the map. Valde is also going to take it upon himself to try to push here. And this is all off the back of information. I think it would have been really good for OpTic to try to walk a little bit longer. Also, the bomb is kind of off in a bad spot. I'm not exactly sure what Stanislaw was doing, but I think he was the only one with the... Oh, no, that wasn't even Stan. I'm not even sure who died, but...
Either way, Valde comes up big. That was a nice little two-piece for him, especially since the fact that he drops the bomb, gets this confirmation, and kind of frazzles up that T side. They're unable to go with their game plan, so they have to remake it. And it does seem as though they will still filter themselves towards the B site. The big question, Freeze on the back of the platform, position unknown, drop to A. Seems as though that's where they're going. Again, options open here because the defense is split.
Now, drop is really good in a 2v2 because typically people want to just watch the bomb plant zone, so you know that you can at least get some more map control, and typically for free. Now, walking in together is also a big deal because it's common for people to just play 1-1 sites. Even though ideally you don't want to do that, the Cobble is a very big map, and so that can kind of sometimes not work in your favor. Oh, and almost getting caught with that incendiary out. Still has the option for it, however, and is going to toss it onto the feet of Stanislaw, though. It's not going to affect him too much, I don't think. Oh, there he is getting burned now.
Falls into positioning, grabs the headshot to Nikolai. Great play from the newcomer on Heroic there. Obviously, you just said, right, nearly gets caught with that grenade in hand, but he does switch back to the FAMAS in time. Of course, waiting for his teammate as well to execute forward. He then uses the incendiary. Just great team play there to clear it out. But, I mean, OpTic can't be too upset. Obviously, they find that bomb plant.
Yeah, it was really good. I mean, it did come close, and I think I'm not sure if they just kind of outplayed themselves by having like the bomb walk back towards A when they had a man advantage, and they have Tech-9s with head armor. So I mean they're going to do pretty good, I think, versus CTs who are split up if they wanted to group up and hit B. But we don't even get to see what their true plan was because it just got stopped before it started.
Shall remain a mystery. As we move into round number 3, we do have OpTic forcing the issue. They buy into the Galil Ump double Tech-9. How do you feel about this one?
So if the other team has like lost a certain amount of players and keeping them within one of a save, there's a lot of incentive for that. So not only do you have the option to try to steal back the economy, but you know that the team is also anticipating you to save, and so will typically buy lighter as well. And also be more prone to just kind of sneak attacks. And we see them creeping up long A right now. Exploding is not that easy on A because even when you come out from this choke point, you're still so far away from everything that rotates can come out. So they might be relying quite heavily here on their first entry.
And luckily for the side of OpTic, there is no aggression over towards that B site. Instead, however, they will have to deal with both Madi and Snappy here towards A. The frag grenade dealing damage to 4 of those players and the bullets to follow up. Snappy going wide, finds himself 1 and 2. Swapping out to the sidearm, however, as the terrorists push forward. He nearly finds the 3rd frag, but completely blinded. Down he goes, and Naf opens up shop towards the site. 2 frags to his name, and a 2 versus 3 for his team. OpTic, they've get the bomb down. This is decently done, but still this retake could come on through.
Not sure now. Mixwell just doesn't have enough HP to play this crossfire very well, and Heroic, with just some good patience, play that kind of phase 1 of the afterplant situation where the first 10 seconds you look to see if anybody's going to get aggressive, and certainly OpTic had it on their minds as they had to try to find a way to even up so that they didn't get aggressed upon, just closed in, and with guaranteed trades from the CTs. So there goes that round, but again, they get the plant, and that's very fortunate, and I think the only thing is they didn't kill 3 people at the very least, so didn't get everything they wanted out of it, and we'll have to save again, right?
Yeah, that's the problem, right? Like, I mean, sure, you get the bomb plant, you still find 2 frags, but that was a full investment. So you're looking for more generally off the back of something like that. This time, OpTic will still have some presence on the map, as we do have an AK in the hands of Nafly, as well as Tech-9's, a P250, and a nice little trio here of flashbangs and smokes.
Yep, head armor as well to accompany all of this. And that makes, I mean, they're really relying on entering power, which is a very common strategy to do. Valde doing quite a bit of damage, though, early on. And that makes it really rough because they haven't gotten anything out of that. They haven't got long B control. They have to just fall back. They might as well have just been waiting here the entire time. Now, I'm not sure what exactly they want to do from now, but they've got 3 smokes to work with. That's pretty much a full site take. And sometimes you want to make it a little bit loose with the pistols, as you're going to have to push a choke point if you plan on winning.
EWP of Freeze still sitting on towards platform. Mixwell getting himself into the drop as the op chimes in with the opening frag. Still now the T's push forward, and Mixwell finds himself another before Freeze also goes down. Tarek with a big opening to the 2v2. Madi quickly flanking to drop the bomb, does leave only Naf and Tarek still standing. Of course, they've got the confirmation, and this is a great play to boost a man up, allow them to come in from separate directions, but in the meantime, Tarek finds the bomb, and therefore the plant.
Yeah, a huge round from Tarek to obviously get that second frag. It's not one you would think would be lightly, and Nafly going to be aware that this flank potential is there. I mean, he's getting blind and actually is maybe a little bit unaware in that situation. So now Tarek in the 1v2 has whipped out the Tech-9, because sometimes that off isn't going to be good enough, and getting very aggressive and knowing that his opponent has to come out a long B. Will he hit the shot?
Play.
What a round! The 2K, the 4K.
The 4K from Tarek.
Oh my God.
Awesome. Not only does he open up the round at the beginning with that double Tech-9 play, but then the clutch as well. So I mean, so much presence just all throughout the round, and all off the back of the Turkish Delight. Excellently done as OpTic Gaming find themselves on 1.
That's pretty funny. I have to say, like, you know, OpTic were planning on buying this round as well, so that half armor kind of light buy that they had, and that little bit of extra money they used for the AK, they were perfectly comfortable again losing. I think the round before that was really the one where they felt like, all right, let's try to invest here, but they've done what they needed to do. And most players on Heroic have we've got, oh, their AK's, his AK's named Turkish Delight, I noticed that. Snappy and Nikolai have just $500 pistols, but they couldn't even afford grenades. So even though we have 2 players that want to kind of support these rifles, they can't even afford any resources whatsoever.
And that's a problem on Cobblestone, correct?
Yeah, huge problem to not have resources. Like this Olaf smoke, for example, always will cost you some resources as a CT. It would actually favor OpTic to do something quickly in this situation because there couldn't be that many counter nades, but maybe they don't know that.
Stanislaw to take the duel, a lot of damage dealt. Nonetheless, it will be Heroic losing 3 and OpTic taking control of the B site. So do they come forward with the retake attempt? It's a 2 versus 3. Snappy still on the sidearm. Madi coming in from the long way. So Snappy gets himself into drop down. The after plant positioning from OpTic, emphasizing chicken coop with a man on site as well. It's going to come down to if Madi can open this, grab the attention, and then allow for Snappy to explosively come out from drop down. But Naf taking one piece out of the equation leaves all the pressure on the shoulders of Madi. He holds the angle, maybe waiting for an exit. I don't think he can go for this.
No, I mean, unless he's anticipating that they all exit not through long, then he might be able to sneak in here. But the thing is, he doesn't have a kit for this, so I mean, that's quite unfortunate. They actually left quite early as well. But no defusal happened, and he's just going to hang on to this gun. The issue for Snappy was that he had to make noise coming in through the window, and because we had a player in E-Box posted up waiting for him, he wasn't going to move as door was being watched as well.
Still now, OpTic, I mean, they lose the pistol, the conversions, but they're in it now. They're finding the presence. They've got round 2 on the board, and this is what happens. Heroic, bottomed out, financially speaking, leave Madi with that op, silver lining, But again, he has to come up big here. It's got to be heavy impact early on to at least then slow down OpTic, because if they do just overwhelm these defenders, then half of them are going to die before anything can even happen.
Yeah, what's really crazy about that round is like how much it came down to just Freeze hitting that one off shot from Chicken Coop on long B. If he gets that kill and it just stays alive, it's 3v2. There's no way to get in the site. And so the only reason I point that out is because it's a relatively easy shot. So he's got to be kicking himself for that. And luckily for them, they're still able to recover the op and keep it in the round. Stanislaus going to be dropping down, but as Balde tries to aggress to try to find some lucky timing, he gets killed as well.
Maudie will be holding the angle now, so they do have their control on the platform. This is that one op. Maudie's got to do it, but he's disengaged as the smoke grenade blocks the vision, and we do have the terrorists now transitioning in towards the A site. Here's Freeze up close and personal. Stan takes him down, brought back by Maudie as he hits the first, hits the second as well. Suddenly, of course, this is still the 3 versus 2, and the A site has gone down, but at least it's not as free as it would have been had Maudie missed.
Yeah, considering they're buying next round, they might not even have enough money to have like the op and armor or op and nades. This is a really good pickup, a couple of kills, knocking down a bit of equipment value for OpTic, as well as keeping a strong gun in the game. And yeah, it's just been a kind of a series of unfortunate events for Heroic, but because OpTic have earned themselves a double save, they're also getting themselves a tie, and that is a really great place to be. Again, final map, 3-3, and OpTic here on T-side Cobble, looking to make a comeback after kind of a disappointing second half in the second map. I mean, that was kind of the same story for Heroic as well in the first map, just after the 8-7 half, just losing out.
Yeah, exactly. It was really the CT side from OpTic that kind of prevailed, right? And I mean, we did see that dynamic play style from the counter-terrorists on, I would say, both teams, both OpTic and Heroic, going for those A main, B main pushes on Cash, of course. And here on Cobblestone, that's a map that just physically limits those capabilities, right? This is a common conversation that now comes up with the criticism of Cobble, and I mean, it's just true. It's so hard as a CT to be pushing for info without really putting yourself at risk and giving up stuff with no return.
Yeah, if you want long B control, just watch how Virtus Pro do it. They just have like really great Molotov to the cold boost, a deep long B smoke, a couple of great flashes, and everyone just gets up on plat and tries to trade out. It's still really risky, and you have to have a coordinated push that takes a lot of resources, and it is doable, but yeah, exactly. But you know, to be able to have to do that just to get control of one thing safely on this map just shows how difficult it really is as a CT.
Majority of OpTic grouping up towards A, where Tarek has found himself the entry frag. Now Snappy's going to have to hold this off as the rotate comes on through. The flash grenade blinding him slightly. He shoots towards Rush, who then does not find the frag. It's a flank from Naf. Takes down one, leaving Mikowai separated. A headshot to boot. Freeze, the last man standing with a bit of a response, but maybe just too late, as it's 1v3 with the bomb plant found. OpTic find another round.
Gotta love that W spray from Nafly to secure that first frag and just like move at the same time. Yeah.
He has no time for your gunfights.
Nobody got time for that, yeah. Exactly. There's Freeze. I mean, they've done a good job of retaining the op at the very least. I mean, but by that same token, OpTic have done a good job of avoiding it in the rounds to follow, right? So if the op doesn't have impact, you can recycle it all you want. But if it's not in the correct site and OpTic are just in your heads about where to go, then you've got other problems. OpTic going A in that situation was great. Tarek has been a monster on entry. We saw Mirage him have a really good time doing it, even though they had kind of this lackluster T side in general. But there it is, another one sealed up. Really good late drop play from Nafly. 10K on him, and everybody's got so much money. Even if that's after that solid first few rounds from Heroic.
Money and frags. Actually, when we come back in the game, if we could just bring up the scoreboard real quick, I'd like. Oh, never mind. We got it here. 1 and 5 still on Mixwell. So there are players a little bit lower down on the scoreboard still. But OpTic with a four rounds, it's looking fine and dandy, right? Nobody's necessarily dropping the ball as of yet. It's going to be a team experience on both sides of the coin. Now, talking about taking initiatives as CTs, here's a nice little boost into drop down, off in hand, but Raj just finds the headshot. What an aggressive play. Stanislaw follows up with one of his own. Valde bringing it back with nearly 2, but Tarek finds the trade. That's the bomb in the B site, and what should be a round for OpTic.
That was so beast, and you're starting to see they're poking the beast at this point. OpTic are starting to heat up. Saw the speed of that round. I mean, players just melting left, right, and center.
On a buy, nonetheless.
Yeah, exactly. On a buy. I mean, completely calling them out at every corner. And just it's the situation where you have to save over and over again. It's so taxing just to have to do that and to think about, what do we do in the following round? Nafly getting caught off guard. Speedy's going to be able to go ahead and upgrade this gun. But that's all the action, I think, for this round.
How do you feel about Freeze boosting up that op into the drop? I mean, obviously, if you're holding the angle, that's one thing, but for him to really commit his entire body, he was just standing in the open.
Yeah, what I want to know is what was the Telfer rush, because we had just like that insanely confident peak, right, to call it out. And so if he had just walked back into the angle, he would have gotten killed. But did he actually try to go up to like walk up through?
It might have been the Molotov, I think, that forced the man underneath him to move. So it was either they both fell down or he at least jumped while the second tried to escape, and then it's in that moment that he gets kind of hit by Rush with, honestly, a just really greatly timed push and a nutty headshot.
Right, so you can just put it to the utility or a good read from Rush in general, but either way, he had him dead to rights. And yeah, that was quite serious. I'm not sure. We've got maybe a pause called by Heroic. They want to talk about things. Scoreline's pretty tight, but they have, it's getting romantic in here.
Wow, wow. This is actually very intimate.
I'm not sure exactly what. Okay, there we go. Let's come back. Oh. It's unfortunate. Take me to the movies.
Nav's still putting up numbers this round. This map in general. Got a nice little talking Valde, just chewing things over. We've returned to the land of the living. Wonders.
Feels bad, man.
Back into this one, of course, 2-point lead for OpTic. Looking good as they have just started to now body Heroic. I feel as though OpTic are now playing their game.
Yeah, this is when OpTic shine because they are a group of relatively aggressive players. I mean, Rush, Nafly, and Tarek, all they want to do is be let off their leash. Like, these guys move quick. And even Stanislaw has kind of picked that up. And what a perfect pop flash. Nafly coming out long, and everything is just clicking right now. Freeze, however, is making a case for his teammates. Madi also joining in. This is a 2v2 all of a sudden. Freeze is also still alive with tons of HP and has dealt quite a bit of damage. I don't know if a kill is going to be had anytime soon, but the longer he stays alive, the longer it allows for Snappy to work on a safe flank.
Of course, there's no more utility here for the terrorist. Plenty of flashbangs for the CT side. Snappy's flank timely done as he takes down one. So Tarek with the op and a Tech-9 up close and personal versus Freeze. Trying to escape towards the A site. He quickly gets round the door. The wild spring is connected. Tarek turns. He takes it down to the 1v1, and Snappy, hot on his heels, will give enough time for Tarek to plant. This would be incredible.
I know, and he actually does have such a good advantage. I mean, if you think about it, if you have an op and you're posted up in a 1v1, it's kind of your loss if you don't hit a shot before taking damage. And I don't know if he's actually aware of the door, but it's made it around the corner. Snappy is now aggressing, and Tarek has taken quite a big risk, but it looks like he's about to seal it up. And what is that, the finesse from Tarek?
Ice cold. The fact that he's just allowed to jump around the door with that sliver of health and has the confidence to not only just run away for the guaranteed bomb plant, but he wants to punish that man for trying to aggress, and he does so. Takes one right to the chest, dropped out, and Snappy just unknowing really to the positioning as he walks through.
And yeah, and you know what? It was like first 2 entries, and then Freeze answers back with 2 more, and then like 90 more damage. And it's like, okay, Heroic have just won another round in a situation where they should not have come close. But yeah, Tarek just pulling it right back in clutches. They do win games. Here is Heroic now with low grenade use, low grenades across the board. Snappy might take first contact and has the opportunity. Does get a kill, and no one's there to trade, so this farm is going to pay off. Also, we'll be able to pick up a better gun, I think, and now potentially assist his teammates. We've got an NA smoke to assist them coming up the A ramp. The door might be a little bit of a liability here.
Body spraying, takes one to the dome. Tarek once again finding an open frag as he does tail 50 bits of damage with another headshot through the edge of the wall. It's Mixwell to chime in with another. Freeze and Valde left standing, both of players isolated outside of the A site as they rotate on in. Now let's see, they've got a smoke grenade to try and work with, but it's a 2 versus 4. They have an investment at this moment. A save has to be on mind right now.
Yeah, there's just retaking A is such a pain. I mean, both these sites are super difficult to do this at. It's just so big, and if you plant for, say, long A, I mean, this player could be behind an unspammable pillar, peek you from the left or the right, or just be somewhere else entirely. And now when a kill comes out, Obvious is having impact kind of at the end of the round more than anywhere else for Heroic. Which is kind of unfortunate, kind of tragic, honestly. And Balda looking to do damage. I mean, it will count for something, I suppose. The off gets taken down. Tarek is going to be able to recollect it, and it's not over quite yet. Wow, 3 HP, and you got to say there was some luck involved in getting that headshot, but it connects, and it makes one of the only times you see him happy.
I mean, they have to be feeling good, especially with Tarek just kind of taking charge here. That's now 3 rounds. I'd argue he's won himself. I'm thinking of the double entry and the 2-man clutch on B site. Obviously, that 1 versus 2 off the op, and even in that previous round, it's him who's finding these opening headshots. Just lots of space being taken between Tarek and Rush. The frags from Tarek, but the positioning from Rush really kind of, you know, offsetting that CT presence. And this round, early aggression out towards the B site. Mixwell looking to open up the floodgates off the back of the op. The fire forcing him to the back of the corner, though, does slow things down until they jump on through. Rush himself taking the first, but Valde from the same position of Freeze is denied. Rush takes the second. Madi brings it, or nearly does, as Snappy finds the response. Grenades expended, bomb planted, but there's just so much smoke. And lots of ambiguity as to where they could be. Tarek with another headshot. Nav cleans it out. This is just OpTic all over this game. They do not look like they're slowing down.
Oh, a complete clinic and just whatever they want to do, man. Those flashes were fantastic. And people getting flashed late into that execute. And how beautiful was it to see them synchronized, jumping out of long B and both looking at different directions. Absolutely no chance. And you'd think that guy was camping right under that broken wall. Be like, all right, he gets 1 kill. If he gets 1 kill, he gets both. But because they were covering each other's angles, no problem whatsoever. And you got to wonder how much of that is communication and how much of that is just straight up synergy.
Of course, at this point, they know they've versus a broken CTs, but Freeze does take the headshot. Fast push in towards the B site, nets them 3 frags, and a round with minimal losses thus far. Still, though, Madi and Snappy playing off the pistols. Of course, with Heroic coming in off this sort of buy, what could they have really asked for?
Yeah. It's just, man, they're getting bodied. I mean, they're getting slapped right now. This is awful for Heroic, and it's just so hard on CD side because you've got to spend so much more time saving.
And I mean, obviously, Cobblestone is one of these maps where we do see sometimes teams get a bit of deflated CT rounds on the half and then switch to the terrorist side just to bring back games. Like, it's not out of the realm of possibility. But the problem is 3 rounds won't cut it.
No,
You need to at least get to that 5-6 sweet spot.
Yeah, you've definitely got to put a sizable down payment on your win by giving yourself a solid half to end with. And will Snappy get a gun here? Not so bad. Oh, never mind. Gets traded out. A lot of good damage dealt. But just as you're saying, man, the 3 rounds is not going to keep them afloat into the second half, especially if you're going to have to rely on a pistol. And that's when you get to that 10-11 mark. That's when the reliance on the pistols becomes way too much. And you cannot just risk it all on that. And yeah, so OpTic are going to be able to get a really, really strong start on their CT side. So even if they blow it, they're going to be fine. They can bail themselves out with just one lucky round, 1 victory, even if their setups weren't great every time. And that's a what face.
AWP in the hands of Freeze doesn't pan out to the opening frag. He at least gets the information, knows there's presence. That, of course, is going to keep the CT towards long A at least cautious. He knows that they could be close. Mixwell as well with the op in his hands, looking to find the entry towards the platform. This is OpTic now very much slowing down the pace of the round.
Oh my gosh. And he was actually spamming Napfly below him. That is so unfortunate. Wow. Stanislaus getting the headshot, and that is just everything this game is just kills followed by kills. No trades for Heroic to get, and is Valde going to get shot in the back here? No, he's made his way to safety now. Never mind. There it is. 5v2. There's just never a point anymore where Heroic have gotten their feet on the ground. They never get the opportunity to be like, all right, you're slowed down. OpTic are getting every entry, and the only times are like, I don't know, like I can only think of the 1 round, like just like a round like this, but then Freeze left on the site, he ends up getting 2 kills. They still lose. I mean, that's got to be part of their confidence as well.
Just Heroic, they have no response to slowing down OpTic. I mean, even this round when OpTic choose to take it slower, that opening pick and response, right?
Yeah.
Like, there was the opportunity with Naf being tagged, but it's just not there.
So I want to say like more focus on long B control. I think what's worrying is that OpTic have just like done this group up explode A ramp strat, but having the appropriate read is obviously step 1. And even in a situation where you're like 2-3, maybe using 2 people towards long B, because on their splits, OpTic have been spending more people there as opposed to drop. Just another couple of exit frags. It's been just the majority of their kills.
Yeah, that's what's scary, right? Like, I would honestly think majority of these frags, not exaggerating, could have come from the save positions. Like, that's nothing really in the big grand scheme of things when you're not putting up rounds. Okay, sure, the T-side are losing their weapons, but they have such an economic backbone.
Yeah.
They'll play this for days. Tarek, 16-5 right now.
Yeah.
An animal.
Now here it is, the full buy. I don't know if we have a two towards A, it looks like, and 3 over towards B. But yeah, see, so at least at long B, they aren't playing to defend like straight up long. And Snappy's actually getting pushed back into an awkward spot, gets caught backpedaling. If he knew he would have took a fight there, he would have found a way more comfortable angle. The rotates, however, have come in quite quickly.
We do have Nikolai underneath the balcony. He finds an opening headshot. Valde does the same. Madi now revealing his position from the suicide stairs. Takes down another 2 versus 2 with a health advantage to the CT side. That flashbang was golden. Stanislaw capitalizing on the opportunity. Takes the kill. Leaves it all on the shoulders of Freeze, who is absolutely white. Tarek crosses back. This is the bomb disengaging, trying to create a bit of space. But that op shot from Freeze changes everything.
I honestly am not sure why they didn't try to go A here. Oh, and like, will this catch him off guard? Freeze? Will he find the head? Oh my god, he doesn't even need it. Full body damage. Tarek, I mean, he had no idea where Tarek was in the first place. But to catch him walking back up the A ramp just like that, what was... I think that he maybe didn't want to cross in the site because they had nothing for heaven.
Oh, that as well, possibly,
yeah. They didn't see him at first, and then they saw him when he crossed back the door. And then, I don't know. I don't know. Tarek is just really hard to kill right now, though. Like, that second trade was just like, it seemed like he was dead, and then just gets the headshot at red HP. And so he's got dragon armor on at the moment.
What scares me here as well is that he had the spawn for the long B push. So at this point, if he wants to, he could just try and pick that up. Obviously, he's got the backbone behind him, but now with the smoke grenade, let's disengage here. He's at least still keeping it smart. Valde, though, he walks on through. Great flashbang to boot. Great, excellent opening headshot. 2 of them. And look at this, Heroic. They're getting aggressive everywhere with the drop-down play as well. They're taking an initiative, and it's finally done something good.
Yeah, every time they've waited, they've succumbed to the pressure and just fallen. But Valde, I guess he blossoms when he's able to push and have a little bit more freedom. And this is a funny angle. You can actually back up quite far on that. And ends up falling. They've got to get this bomb back, and they've also got to deal with the crossfire. I think they should start using grenades, but nope, that's it. Freeze peeks out. They get that 4-11 half, and they figured it out a little too late.
Yeah, that's the big question, right? Like, we see this just absolute splurge of life from them. That was a hyper-aggressive play, right through the smoke and everything. So it works out. But like you said, number 15.
I think at the very least, what needed to happen earlier on was the long B presence. Like, even if Volley doesn't flash through the smoke, having someone up on plat, or if they think that an execute's going to come out, because it seems like they were doing a lot of contact plays, OpTic, for them to just be ready to have a flash for the person to peek box and try to get an initial kill. Because every time they jumped out into the site, it was over.
We're going to see, of course, if OpTic can seal the deal once we come back from a very quick break. Word from our sponsors. It's Northern Arena, presented by Bell.
Okay.
Now we can. We're golden. We're back. No worries. Don't sweat it. Heroic 4 rounds, excuse me. So if anyone's sweating, it's definitely the Danes.
Yeah, what are we looking at right now? Now, Valde keeping it up, 180 yards is what he had on. I don't want to say like each map he's put up these numbers. Maybe not quite that high on cash, but still leading by quite a big margin. And it's like, are they? I don't know. Like Nikolai having a really rough map so far, like 5 and 10, and you know, he's a man to replace Glaive, who not only did Glaive have a lot of input, I think, into what the team did, he also was just like, I think, actually performing better statistically than even Valdez. So a really crazy pickup from all viewpoints.
What I find interesting as well here is look how many of these rounds are won by bomb explosions. Those are moments where Heroic are falling back and trying to keep weapons.
Yeah, how many saves did we watch?
They never got their feet underneath them, despite playing quite conservatively. It was tough to watch for Heroic, but they'll get one last chance, potentially here in the form of the pistol round. Conversions on the table as well, as OpTic Gaming, with a significant lead, just need to crawl themselves to that finish line. It's a Molotov and a smoke on Madi. Armor for the rest of the players on the terrorist side as they do work their way through the museum. It's not going to be a fast one this time.
Slowing down the pace, moving back towards A. We had one spotter to make sure no one gets aggressive at long A, and since no pushes have occurred yet, it's actually just those decoys to kind of cause some confusion. Tarek, initial kill, stays alive, and he's always a threat. So we'll see if this results in what great positioning to actually come here to take this fight. Whoa, Snappy is not going to let him breathe, however. And Stan moving in to get a couple of kills. This is such a critical pistol round for Heroic to win, and they're about to lose it. Snappy left alone on the A site, and he gets taken down.
OpTic have poised themselves in a position to finish this up incredibly quick with a very convincing scoreline. But we also saw them lose a pistol conversion on Mirage.
That's true.
So let's not count it out.
That is their saving grace in this moment. Is, you know, that we're going to see them buy up. The problem is their hand is shown right now. It's completely clear to OpTic. They're going to anticipate a force up, and they have nothing else to worry about at the moment right now. Their priorities are just win this round, regardless of whatever they buy, and they have the ability to do it. Getting hit by an 8 is going to be a tell. Also, the drop down, and no one here to fight them right away might slow down the pressure. The smoke is also going to discourage them from pushing further, and Nafly is going to now deal with our player moving up from long B.
Mixwell's already taken 2, but Connector does fall to the terrorist side, leaving Nikolai with a bit of a positioning and an opening towards the A site. So, saving grace, he finds the bomb plant, if he is fast enough. The retake, however, should be quite easy for OpTic. Of course, it'll be difficult to get through that Connector door, but with a smoke and a flash on Stanislaw, he can at least kind of disrupt the angles Nikolai could be holding. Tarek, on 14 HP, could be an easy fall, and suddenly it's a 1v2. So, let's not count Nikolai out just yet, but this is a lot of pressure for the newcomer.
All right, so he's playing this pretty standard. And tries to look for a first kill, risking getting spammed right here. Can he find an initial duel? He does. 19 HP. One player on the CTs are hurt, but the bomb isn't planted for himself. That was a bit of an oversight. I mean, he was getting on. I mean, potentially thought there could have been someone long A. Just wanted to make sure he got the bomb down. But I guess was risking that to plant just first priority, right?
Yeah,
so just
exactly.
safe. You can't really fault him for that. And then his strategy was just like, I'm going to go to a place where it's not planned for me, so maybe they won't think I'm here, and then I can try to catch people crossing.
Yeah, especially since, I mean, he comes right from Connector. They had nobody at A in the entire round, right? So
yeah.
They don't know if there's somebody just sitting on long A waiting to deny a bomb plant from the side. So I do appreciate that he does emphasize the bomb plant, because it's more an investment to this, right?
Yeah.
And this round is more important than trying to rely on the 1v3s. So OpTic Gaming going to be in a fine stance right now, with Stanislaw taking an early peek and a lot of damage, but he also deals it back. Give a little, take a little in response to that. Freeze going to be prying in towards drop down, but this is a heavy emphasis from Heroic towards A.
Who knows what happens now? It's just kind of a reset mentally for both teams. A lot of information had been given up from Heroic, so they have no choice but to slow it down and create some doubt as to whether or not this is actually the site they're going to go to, whether or not they actually want to go here. There was also time to change up and move back if they'd like to, but we can see the bomb basically entering right now. And Mixwell, not sure exactly what angle he was checking in that moment, but Stanislaw up top, the man boosted by most likely Mixwell, is able to get a couple of kills.
Nikolai is going to be putting down the smoke for the cross. This, of course, with his frag, does give them some space. It's he and Freeze to clutch this out 2 versus 3. That's a nice rotation from Stanislaw to put himself back at the bottom of the ramp. He'll be able to clear this out, which will facilitate the push forward. But Freeze has other ideas, and now OpTic's push becomes much more singular in direction. Tarek leading the charge as he pushes to the APC. Freeze pinned down behind the wall of Humpty Dumpty. Nico on the site. Spray down connects, and it's Tarek with the mobility. Responded to by a headshot, but it's not enough. Tarek finds the round with another 2K, and this is OpTic's map to win.
Yeah, what a beast, Derek, getting all these kills. He's just so confident right now, and he's just getting stronger. He's basically just Nevermore at the moment. For those Dota fans out there, just getting stronger by the kill, it seems.
Heroic seem a little deflated at the moment, as they should be, to be honest. OpTic have just been all over Cobblestone, and I mean, our analyst has talked about how both these teams have been quite formidable on it. Think about Heroic beating Liquid on Cobble just earlier this event, and now it's OpTic kind of bouncing back with a response of their own. So this is really nice to see, since it is very much one-sided.
Yeah, real point there. For sure, and it seems like, yeah, they've been pressured into putting another buy together off of that. Ooh,
the aggression, it's disturbing.
Yeah.
They are not giving any wiggle room for Heroic to play with. So as they try to drop into the drop-down, Rush finds himself with an additional frag. There's 3 left standing as Madi thinks about coming through the smoke. He is denied. Tarek up on close, traded back from Nikolai. Freeze still on the platform, going 1-1, but then she's done. Mixwell cleaning it up, and this is OpTic again, so damn close to closing it out.
Yeah, three mixed buys in a row for Heroic, considering they got that plan each time, and wow, what an absolute thorough stomp from OpTic. And I was talking about how, you know, Rush in the last map kind of underperformed, and he was playing such an important position on CT side of Cobble today here at on the other side of on E-Box to watch drop, and he hasn't even had to do that because they haven't had a chance to really even play T side. Heroic have just haven't had a one solid buy in this entire map, and oh my god.
Madi doesn't check it. Down he goes. Stan gets the flank time to a T as Valde looks to lead the charge up the A ramp, bomb in tow. They do have also Valde, but now he's out. Great heads up play from Rush, keeping his eyes on the back. 4 versus 2, make it 1. Nikolai, can you clutch this?
This would be incredible, and no. Nafly is able to win the duel, and OpTic are moving on to the grand finals tomorrow at the Bell Center.
That's going to be so great to see. We'll have the Frenchman versus OpTic